Am I the only one that wouldn't go to the corner store with these people? I'm just asking. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to put my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Married to Medicine, Season 6, Episode 11. It has gotten to the point where I was just sitting here and I was watching. First of all, pissed off that they moved the show to Saturday. Bravo, Andy, bitch. You are doing the complete most. All this Sunday to Friday and not Saturday. Saturday. Anyway, a mess. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, it's sad to me that I love this show so much. I've always loved Married to Medicine since it came on the air. But this group of folks, I sat and I said, I really wouldn't. I wouldn't walk to the end of the block with them. And it's kind of, I understand the dynamic. I really do, because it's that dynamic I have with my family. And you all have seen me do this. You've seen me compare people in the group to actual family members of mine, where you are related to them and you have some attachment to them. So you can't just take them and throw them away. But at the same time, you just can't fuck with them. And that's kind of how this is. As much as I used to like, y'all know I always tell y'all how much I like Simone and I like Cecil. I still just love Cecil to pieces. I love Cecil. But Simone, I never thought there would actually be a day where I would actually tell you that when Simone comes on the screen, I could just scream. I can just scream when I see Simone on the damn screen. Simone has become just a signifying monkey that I would like to take by the hand and walk into the ocean and tsunami her ass. She is just ridiculous. And I mean, for no reason. But you're going to see. You're going to see as I go through this review and talk. So it's the next day. We're to the next day. We're done with, hot glass shanking ass Mariah and all that shit, and Aiden versus Damon for a WWE match. We're done with all that. Everybody's trying to move on to a different day. They're doing a cookout. First things first, Toya, bitch, did you put that spoon back in them beans after you put that spoon in your mouth? And fat boy, I know good and well don't know goddamn garlic go into no damn baked beans. What would even be the purpose of putting garlic in baked beans? Quit playing. That is just stupid. And I bet them beans were nasty. Like, really nasty. Like, ew, garlic. Ridiculous. But I was just done when she wouldn't taste them beans and put that that just went all through me. That was just disgusting. Anyway, moving on. So they get everything together and everybody's coming down, one by one, they're coming down. And then when Contessa comes down, Contessa, high road taken. She goes over to Toya, and that bitch just looked at her, turned her head on. You're not even going to speak. So Contessa said, hey, fine with me. No problem. That's fine. So They're sitting there, and before you know it, you look around, it gets started again. Now you got Simone saying to Contessa, "You're not owning." I don't think Contessa's owning her shit. You know, you stop saying to us that you had an operation, that you had surgery? Well, bitch, she did have surgery. What are you talking about, Simone? And what are you all hyped up for? All hyped up. What was that all about? What was all that about? But I'm jumping ahead. I'm jumping ahead. That whole thing with the telling her not to say that she has surgery, that happened later in the episode when they actually went on the boat trip. So it just it's just too much. And it's just about, and it's like every time you open your mouth nowadays, it's some negative shit. To the point that even Cecil said it in his goddamn confessional. I'm just happy whenever an argument goes down and Simone's not a part of it. Now, when your husband is sick of your ass being amidst the shit, I say there's too much shit that you keep involving yourself in. And it's like you're creating beefs, you're creating issues. Ain't nobody really got no issue with you, Simone. You just get all drunk up and then you standing over there hollering and screaming and acting a fool. You mad with Contessa. You mad with Qual. Really? About what? I ain't figured out for what yet. Just because you want to be? If you don't sit your motherfucking glass tipping ass down somewhere. But anyway, she's fussing about that Contessa's not owning her shit. Like now, Contessa's wrong and Toya is not wrong. Right. And because Contessa said, you didn't call me. You know, you didn't call to see if I was okay. Yeah, I had thoughts. You know, did you really hit me on purpose? I don't know. You never called me to check on me either. You didn't call to check to see if I was okay. You didn't call to apologize. So what am I to think? And I'm like, girl, I'm with you. I told y'all last week, any bitch that I ain't been dealing with that hits me, if it wasn't an accident, you know, if it was an accident, bitch, I ain't gonna think it was no accident. I probably will windmill the shit out of you. That's just the way it's gonna be. And then the next thing you know, Aiden and the men go off on their way. Aiden and Damon have a little conversation, and Damon told Aiden, I ain't trying to be at odds with you. I really ain't trying to fight with you. It's just, it's a mess how our wives keep going at it and different things like that. I didn't like Aiden's attitude. Aiden still had that battery in his back that Mariah put in there, and he still had a bit of an attitude, and he was really negating the fact of when Damon said, I don't appreciate her saying, that I tipped out on my wife. I ain't never tipped out on my wife. And all that. Aiden ain't even want to address that. Because he know that shit is wrong. And I didn't care for his attitude. And Damon just kind of just squashed it just to bring about the peace. But I'm like, Aiden, you don't even realize that you putting yourself in a bad position because Damon sees you. He sees you. He sees what you're doing. And he's trying to really take the high road and be the bigger person. But whenever the time comes, and the time will come, that he's going to reach out and he's going to touch you, Aiden, he's going to fuck you up because you are just you're doing the same thing like what you want. You're just building onto it. But the thing that you don't realize is that you're in a real bad game of Jenga. When that shit fall down, it's going to fall all the way down. Damon is going to fuck your soul up, Aiden, and you just playing. You playing. You have to get your hair plugs done again and everything. He going to knock the shit out of you. I just see it coming. I said, Aiden, girl, you in danger, child. You just don't even know it. Mariah, and that's why Mariah always say, just don't say nothing. You don't need to say nothing because you're going to get fucked up. She probably got a better chance of trying to fight her with her old Amazon ass. That's just ridiculous. But then Mariah and Heavenly, it gets back started, and it's Mariah with this. Oh, she's not even owning up to what she accidentally broke the glass, this, that, the other. Heavenly just got up and walked out. She's like, I ain't doing this. I ain't doing it. She was trying. She said, I'm apologize about my part in it. You know what I mean? Because I got angry, and I probably shouldn't have said the things that I said, and I didn't have to get that angry. It could have been handled differently. And the next thing I know, honey, she got all upsided, and Simone was talking about, well, because you all just do like a silent, possibly, a silent first. Well, we'll get to that in a minute when we get to the dinner. But before that, she walked out. Heavenly walked on out. She's like, I'm not going to sit up here and listen to her lie. And that's all one of the big problems with Heavenly. She always says that Mariah is a liar. And she actually is. She is a liar. She is a liar. And she said that she won't speak on Quad's marriage again. I won't do it again. And everybody was like, "Oh, you're right." Even Quad was like, "Sure you won't, girl." Well, we've seen that in the blogs and on these interviews that's happened, girl. That was all a lie, but okay. Um, then Contessa and Toya finally did talk, and Toya just was firing at Contessa and told her, "You're trying to play the victim, bitch." I'm like, girl, I told y'all before, these new titties and things are saving Toya's ass. Toya and Aiden both are sitting on this little island. It's called the ass whooping island, honey. They just sitting there and they thinking they having a good time, but they don't know that the water keeps creeping up more and more and more, honey. And there's less and less land, and they're not seeing it. When Contessa heal up, Toya, she gonna beat your fucking ass. She's gonna beat your ass, and you don't even realize it. Because if there was no surgery, I promise you by now, Contessa would have reached out and shook the shit out of Toya. Keep calling her a bitch. Now that's 2 times. You just stood in her face and called her a bitch. How many times do you think you can get away with that? I guess you're going to keep on doing it to see, huh? Whew, girl. When that healing take place, you're going to be on your route to healing, girl. It's going to be all slow singing and lump bringing, honey. You keep on. Keep on. Fuck around making G.I. Jane mad, honey. Keep on playing. Then they ended up going, they had this dinner with the intimacy talk. And, child, Heavenly, I'm going to need you to shut up. Was they said something about, well, how do y'all, what do y'all enjoy with your sex life? And I'm thinking they're going to say little answers like a little role play here and there, or, a little date night. Child, Heavenly bust straight out and say, Daddy like me to put it in my mouth. I said, oh, girl, that's nice. That's nice when you got damn near grown kids that's going to see this. Daddy like me to put it in my mouth. Okay, gutter snipe. That was real raunchy. I was like, wow. And he was sitting over there like, he was just embarrassed. I said, oh my, that's just a mess. And then Simone, she started up and she said, I'm really just basic. I'm pretty basic when it comes to our sex life. And Toya did the Mariah. She jumped all over Simone. I was like, okay. Now you two been caping for each other. What's going on here? Because every time Toya gets into it with Quad, you got so much to say. I said, okay. And Toya got started. She jumped in there and did the Mariah. She wouldn't allow Simone to talk. She kept over talking her. Basic, we're not going to say basic. That's just ridiculous. Don't say basic. I'm like, and Eugene's like, well, Toya, just let her use whatever words she wants. That fucker, she went off on Eugene, but not before Simone got the chance. Because then Simone got all hyped up and going to say, well, Eugene, you were masturbating, so whatever she was doing wasn't working if it wasn't basic. I'm like, damn, no, Eugene didn't really deserve that. That was pretty embarrassing. I said, damn. See, this is where the problem comes with little stuff like this, because now y'all done told too much of your business, and now people are throwing it back in your face. That kind of stuff with little groups of friends will make you punch your friends in their mouth. You know what I mean? I was like, and that's all. Y'all wonder why Quad takes the stance that she does, because the shit that you're doing right now, Simone, that's all stemming from stuff where Toya and Eugene have shared too much of their business with you, and now you throwing it in their face just a year later. Mess. But before that could even get going real good, next thing I know, Toya goes off on Eugene because he's always her scapegoat. She treats him like shit and talks to him crazy, cuss him all out, and then he's like, "Okay, get up and let's go talk," away from the table. And she's talking to him, and she's screaming at him, "Shut up and stop talking." Oh, you're still talking. I was like, she needs smacked. She doing too much. She needs smacked. She was cutting a fool. Cutting a fool. And they're like, well, that's your girl, Quad. You gonna go? She's like, oh no, baby, that's their marital thing. I ain't going over there messing with that. And you were correct. Don't. Don't. They come back. And Toya had started crying. And she was crying because she couldn't win. Because she wanted to embarrass him the way she usually does. And then he shut down. Well, Eugene done got a little different now. Eugene don't shut down like that. I don't know what's going on with him and Toya at that house, but he don't shut down the way he used to. Did y'all notice that? He wasn't doing it. He wasn't having it. And they come back, and her ass was sitting there crying. And then Simone got up and told her, "Come on, let's go to the bathroom," which was like the first decent thing that I've seen Simone do in a very long time. She walked her to the bathroom and they talked, and she was telling her, girl, what is you doing? What's going on? Eugene is the last person you should be screaming at. We're here celebrating your 10th anniversary. You're screaming at this man for really no reason. I don't like, he's the last one you should be having this problem with. And she goes into this whole thing, all the stuff with Contessa and all of that is getting on her. And of course, Simone is caping for with the Contessa stuff. She's all on board with that bullshit. And but she's calming her down and everything. And I was like, okay, a mess. And then she comes back to the table and she tells Eugene, to stop apologizing, this, that, and the other. That she's been on birth control. And it got her kind of wobbly, honey. And this is why she's been kind of crying a lot and going off and carrying on. And I said, okay, now I'm going to give her a real small pass because they were all laughing at her and they had they made little confessionals and also said some things. They're like, well, we don't know nothing about that really, that birth control makes you have mood swings and things like that. But one thing that I do know, and you all might have actually picked up on this, now think about who Toya actually is and how her personality is. Look at Toya. Toya has picked up weight. She has truly picked up weight since like the last two seasons. So I'm not going to say that birth control makes people actually have snap outs and be having fits, but I do know that birth control can make you pick up weight. And knowing Toya the way we know Toya, that weight gain that she's having and that little struggle right there could definitely have Toya on edge where she's a bit irritable. So I'm going to issue Toya a little bit of a pass. And I really believe something's going on. And she's superficial, very superficial, very body conscious. I'm going to give her a little bit of a pass. I'd be willing to bet some money. That little bit of a weight gain she's having is probably adding to that irritability that she has going on. There's definitely something going on with Toya. She's a lot more bitchy than she has been in the past. Though she's a bitch in general, but she's been a lot more bitchy than she has been in the past. And I would be willing to bet some of that weight gain ain't making her feel real happy on a day-to-day basis. So I'm gonna give her that. But I ain't gonna give her a full pass, but you still need to get your goddamn act together. You really did. So she comes back and she's just kind of putting things into perspective. She says, I'm really sorry. Her and Contessa actually kind of squashed the shit for the moment. They held hands and they smiled at each other. And I said, I see some hope. I was really happy with that. I was absolutely happy with that. I was like, that's a block that could be built onto. And I think that could be cool. that could be worked on. And I was shocked. I was shocked. I was really shocked that it would be that easy. But it was, I think, some of what Toya was saying was very genuine. And then, as she's having her moment, Hurricane Mariah struck. She don't want her to have her moment. She started doing it again. Now, she did it the quad all season long. Now, y'all don't want to see it when it comes out of my mouth when it has to do with quad. Did y'all see it when it happened to Toya tonight? Did you all see how she cut into Toya having her moment? Toya was having her moment. She was having a scream moment. And Mariah jumped right in. And now it's no longer your turn. It's not going to be about you. It's going to be about me and Aiden. And I don't think that we fit into this group anymore. And this, that thing, and the other. She's like, no. Because she was saying, the thing that's going on with you two is just petty and it needs to stop. And we're uncomfortable with it. She turned that whole thing around. She took the scene all the way away from her. Now it's about them. Now they're the victims. And we're going to get up and we're going to walk away because we don't really fit into this group. And then they're sitting there and Toya's like, no. It's not that. This she's whispering, but Eugene could actually hear them. And when she's saying, these people aren't even our friends. And then Aiden looks at her and says, I'm the only friend that you have. They're not our friends. I said, she rolling that battery in your back, but it wasn't working because Eugene, who is on level 9 of bitch, said, I could hear you all and what you're saying. And baby, he was getting hot under his collar. Like, no, they're not fucking sitting here on this trip that we put together and now double crossing us, stealing the scene away from my wife and talking shit and saying that we ain't their friends. He didn't appreciate that shit at all. And it was offensive. It really was offensive. And he was getting pissed. And then they're like, we're going to get up and leave. And they went on out and walked away. And then Toya goes following them. And then they, no, girl, everything's fine. We're just going to go ahead and go. We'll go. Goodbye. Now, I got confused because I thought they was going to go the fuck on home. And I was pretty happy with it. And then when because this is where I was telling y'all earlier about this whole thing. Can y'all just have a silent friendship? Like, just don't say nothing to each other, basically. And it was like, fine. But then how did Quad get thrown in there? When Mariah said, I won't say nothing else, period, to Quad or Mariah or Heavenly. Quad didn't have shit to do with it. Quad ain't had a fucking nickel in that dime. I said, y'all's girl, honey. She is a nasty, crazy snake, honey. She's another one that I'd like to walk right into the ocean, honey. Just as ridiculous. Just acting up. And I thought they were going to go home. I was like, good the fuck, bye. And no, the next day here they're having this love boat trip. And they planned it. And everything was supposed to be going to be good. They get on the boat, and 2 seconds into them being on the boat is when Simone attacks Contessa. And I'm like, Simone, are you serious? Are you serious, bitch? You need to be catapulted right overboard, bitch. There is no point in what you're doing. You over here with this old, she's sitting over there looking drunk. I said, girl, you giving me drunkard right now, honey, because you're snapping out, telling the girl we don't want to hear about you being having surgery and like nobody feels sorry for you type of thing. I was like, wow, really, Simone? And then said, bitch, fuck you. And what I said, what is all this? When did this become so cool to just call people bitches like this in this group and be telling them fuck you, screaming in their face? Simone, really? I said, I don't know what's going on with Simone. She losing her goddamn mind. She is losing her mind. I said, girl, Jack Daniel got you acting a fool. And it cut out, to be continued. I said, girl, catapult her ass right overboard, honey. She is really doing the most. But anyway, child, you talk about somebody who should actually walk away from the group and say, fuck y'all for real, is actually, it ain't Aiden and Mariah. I could definitely understand if Scott and Contessa walked away and said, fuck y'all, and didn't look back. That I could understand. I really could. All right, y'all. Talk to y'all later.